Yeah, so I didn't finish school though. I never really attended much in school. I had maybe like, I don't know, 40% or 30% attendance rate. Maybe I had about 30 or 70% attendance rate in second last year of high school. And then I had like only 30-40 in the last year. So the teacher kind of pulled me aside. He said, look, Jonas, you need to start showing up to every single class. If you skip another class, we're gonna like, what's it called? Expel you for first 1 day, 1 week, and then you're out. So I said to him, okay, I just wanted to get taken out of some classes. And I said, look, I'll just sign up and take the test myself and be graded based on that test. So I don't waste like a lot of hours sitting in school listening to things I can just learn by myself in a couple of hours. So I was doing well in high school, I think. I was doing above average in class. I was studying science. And yeah, I just was up too late, and the early classes were too easy to skip, especially then if you had a class from like 8:30 to 10, then no class from 10 to 12:30, then it was like a lunch break, so just show up at like 1 instead. So yeah, like eventually I just got expelled, and then I said, all right, fuck it, you know, I'm fine, I'm just gonna drop out and do my own thing. It is a scam when you don't allow everyone to operate on fair terms.
We are the Robin Hoods of sports betting. We take something back from the rich bookies and enable our customers to beat them instead.
What did your parents think of that?
So my parents are divorced. I was living with my dad. He left before I got up in the morning to go to work. So he didn't really know that I wasn't attending that much. And I just told him, look, things are going pretty well here. I was like, the hourly I was having from poker was far more than I would earn as an engineer. So I said to him, look, it's fine now. If I somehow mess up, I put $50,000 into savings. And I said, if I don't make it in poker, I have money here that I'm gonna go back and go to school and consider this just a leap year, even though it's normal to take the leap year after you finish high school. So he was cool with that. I didn't tell my mom for many months. So eventually then, like, the year finishes, and I was talking through that time, like, what are we gonna do, like, with some other poker players? So we looked at different options. We're thinking, like, should we go to Malta? It's somewhat close to Europe, but then the weather is not that appealing. We just wanted to go from September to April, May, so about 8 months. We're looking at South America. We were looking at Asia. So we decided, all right, let's do Thailand. Thailand is a cheap place. A lot of tourists go there. I'm sure it's nice. And we decided to go for Thailand and Phuket. So we were living a bit north in Phuket, not too many tourists, and more like retired people who was living around. So it was like a quiet area, but also like 25-30 minutes down to like the party scene. So, I mean, at first it was kind of nice. Of course, the weather was nice, the house was nice. We're having like a cleaner every day except the Sunday. She would be wearing a walkie-talkie. We would be in an office, and if we wanted something, it's like, hey, can you bring me a can of Pepsi? Can you make me some food? And she would like do all of these things for us.
Yeah.
What I didn't like was kind of everyone was after your money. You had to like negotiate with the taxi driver for like 5-10 minutes every single time, because they thought you were a tourist, and a trip that was supposed to be $15, they wanted to charge you $50 for. So you're just like, look, mate, I know how it is here. It's $15 from this to this. There's no point arguing or discussing it. So it was just every single thing, and the girls like grabbing you by the arms every time. Oh, come with me, because, you know, that's what most people try, or some people travel to Thailand for, I guess. So
not into that.
No, like it just kind of put me off a bit, but at the same time just spent more time working and playing, so it's not that many interesting stories. We had to do visa runs every month, so we went to Macau, Singapore, Bali, we went a couple of times, Kuala Lumpur. So we got to see like a bit of Asia.
Yeah. Backtrack a bit. What did your mum think when she found out you left school at an earlier age than you're supposed to?
I think she was nervous, or she didn't like it, because in our family there has been some gamblers before me and none of them have been successful. So
that's why they're called gamblers.
Yeah, so for that reason, like, she was very nervous that I might lose everything, and not only lose everything but lose more than I actually have and put myself in a hole. I tried to explain to her how I was dealing with bankroll management and how careful I am with the money and how sure I am of the edges I'm having, showed her the poker graphs, and she understood, like, look, yeah, it goes down, like, to her, like, losing $1,000 is a lot of money. But I said to her, like, yeah, but you see, like, it doesn't happen often and my graphs is basically going straight up. So she understood it, or agreed with it, even though probably she didn't like it, but she was like, well, kind of raised him to be independent, and he's a smart, like, she thinks highly of me. She thinks I'm smart. So she thought, like, okay, he'll try, and he seems to have things under control. So I was able to give it a go without having that pressure from home, like, oh, if I fail, I'm gonna let everyone down. But as always, like, when people tell you or are kind of thinking you're doing the wrong thing, there's nothing better than proving them wrong. So in a way, it was nice to prove her wrong and the whole family wrong, because I know many people didn't think, or maybe even to the day, they think it's all luck, that I'm just being lucky year after year. And the same people are being unlucky year after year. So
what do they think of you now, your parents? Are they proud of you? I mean, I assume they're extremely proud of you.
Yeah, I hope so. I'm proud of what I've accomplished, and the fact, like, I've also put money into other things also now shows that it's paid off.
Yeah.
And maybe it was the right decision. Maybe I could have done something smarter or better in my life. Who knows, like, what I would have made in other things, but it's not always down to money, because one main thing that they're saying is, like, you're not creating as much value in poker because you're basically taking money from others by playing against them. But in Trademate, I think we do the complete different things. We actually create opportunities, so it kind of makes up for it, I would say, if you can say it like that.
Yeah.
So.
And talk me through what it's like. I mean, how old are you? 17, 16?
I was 18 when I dropped out of school.
Okay, and you go to Thailand, like, you've said a bit about your experiences there, but, like, mate, you're 18 years old and you're on the other side of the world, basically, and your parents and stuff like that. Like, how was that? Like, was that a weird time? A lot of self-growth, I imagine.
Yeah, but I mean, I've been kind of independent since I was 16, and like, I think I was 16 when I started working at a gas station, and always been, like, good with money and not spending, and I wasn't living paycheck to paycheck. I was always saving and stuff like that. So, but self-growth comes, of course, with the responsibility of moving to another country. I wasn't very confident in speaking English or meeting other people, but you were kind of forced to step into that, speak with others, and put yourself out there. So yeah, I mean.
Yeah. Why did you have to go to Thailand to do poker?
I didn't have to. I could have been in Oslo, but kind of, like, I was 18, 19, and I was like, why should I just be in Oslo? Someplace I thought at the time I probably would be spending the majority of my life. Why not now, like, travel the world and see a bit of what the world has to offer and learn from different culture, meet interesting people that you're not going to be able to meet if you're just stick to your comfort zone in Norway.
Mm. And how long are you in Thailand for?
8 months.
8 months.
So after that, I moved back to my hometown. I got an apartment. I was staying there for like 6 months. And then Felix says to me, like, look, are you bored? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, me too. So he said, should we try out London? I was like, sure. So we moved to London together.
And can I ask how much you made while you were in Thailand at the very meager age of 18 years old?
How much was that? Probably about 150 or something, 150, 200
Pounds?
$1,000.
That's insane. Like, seriously. You're 18, you left school early. I mean, most of your mates are probably like still in school, finishing off their schooling.
Working on their student debt.
And you just left and made $150,000.
Yeah, no, it was, good times, and also like when you build and start to get like to that position where you feel like, okay, now I actually have some money, and you can start looking to invest some of it. But it's also like, should you invest? Because if you have more more liquidity, you can play in higher games. But my goal, at least back then, was never to make a lot of money, but it was more to have that, be in that 100 to 300 yearly range. That was more than enough for me. And eventually, like, once you secure yourself a bit, you can also start taking bigger risks.
Yeah.
So
you moved to London, and then how long after that did you get into sports betting?
I think I started small with sports betting when I was in my first year here, but then it was all the manual things, and then it got more and more into it the second and third year.
Yeah. What was the transition like from poker to sports betting?
It was kind of like when we launched EdgeBet, I kind of had to give up poker for a period of time, because there was just too much work with this, and also learning and improving sports betting. So you kind of had to pick your battles, and I realized I can only focus on one thing and really learn it. Because if I was gonna still play poker, I would need to study poker, and I would need to study betting. I would need to understand how you run a business, all this like corporate stuff and legal things. And I just focus more about it, and I found it interesting. You learn so much new, but I also realized running a company is very difficult. So if you don't like reading 40 papers of legal contracts and stuff like that, which you are facing a lot.
Yeah. It's just interesting to hear, in just going back to like this emotional attachment to Trademate or EdgeBet at the time. It's really interesting because you were making like you said, you made 150 grand in 1 year playing poker, but still you opted to go and try and start EdgeBet, which in terms of making money, I assume is like you've not made a cent out of Trademate. So we're literally talking about like, it's in a logical sense, it's stupid.
Yeah, no, like, what I said to Martin is like, at least when we launched it, I said, look, the thing with EdgeBet is we might not make a lot of money for a long period of time, because when it reaches a point where we are making a lot of money, meaning we have tens of thousands subscribers, we are going to be making a lot of money. But at the same time, then bookmakers will be forced to make a change. So if we can like revolutionize the sports betting industry, that's something I can put on my CV and be proud of.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
I mean, the bookmakers are still confident doing what they're doing. So we'll see.